friends? We're off here. I'm down at Hands Up, Phones Out down at Jefferson Square, aka Injustice Park. This is an event in support of local independent media.
heads up, our phones out, and we are watching LMPD, we are watching what they're doing, and we're holding them accountable. The way today is going to look is we're going to have a couple people speak, and we're going to have some of the journalists share their message as well. We encourage people to grab a sign if you want to participate. We will be walking down to take our message to LMPD at the end, so feel free to walk with us. We also have some water. If you are finding yourself faint, please move into the shade. Where's our water guy? I'm not sure. We'll grab the water. So water guy will be the guy in the yellow vest there. We'll get him some water. And we have extra masks as well if people would like those. So let's get started. Anisi, you ready? We encourage everyone to live stream this. Grab your phone, record it, open Facebook, open whatever you use to live stream, and spread this to your network.
Thanks, Jill. My name is Anisi. I'm with Louisville Showing Up for Racial Justice. We are here today because LMPD does not want the community to hold them accountable. We are here because LMPD does not want you to witness how they behave in the streets. We are here because we recognize that without the bravery and commitment of independent journalists, upstander witnesses, and media, our movement would often have no eyes and no truth. No evidence of the misconduct, no proof of the crime committed by police violence. LMPD is targeting our independent journalists on the street. How many of you watched as four of our independent journalists recently got attacked, thrown to the ground, and arrested? How many of you saw the news the very next day that denied those allegations and painted an entirely false story? That's right. We are here to say no. No more of that. We know the truth, and we have people and eyes on the streets that are telling it to us. Now, we have had police violence for decades and centuries. We know that the modern-day policing force evolved from slave catchers and has taken those same ethics along with them for the ride. This violence has been happening for decades and centuries, but now we have a tool. Every single one of us has a camera in our pocket. So this violence that's been going on for decades and centuries is now caught on camera. It's no longer our word against theirs. Now we have the truth. We're here today because we're still fighting to obtain justice for Breonna Taylor, David McAtee, and so many other black and brown members of our community. We're here to let LMPD know that we see them, that they are afraid of accountability, and we see that. And we see their violence, and we are here to call for oversight and accountability.
That's right.
We're here because we see that our independent journalists, upstander witnesses, and media are brave enough to hold up a camera or a smartphone in the midst of police violence, and are too often our only source of truth. And L-Surge is here today specifically because we as white members of the community must take action if we expect things to change.
That's right.
It is our responsibility to speak out and end white silence.
That's right.
The work of independent journalists is critical. Their coverage has captured many beautiful moments of this movement. A community feeding one another, loving one another, dancing together, caring for one another. A community united. Their work often shows a loving reality that you don't always see on the evening news. They are on the front lines. They are first-hand witnesses, and they represent the rights of the people to freedom of the press and freedom of expression. We see that LMPD is threatened by this, and we know that these videos are the sparks that will move people to demand justice. We have a right to oversight. We are calling for a citizen oversight review board that has subpoena power.
That's right.
So that we can actually call for the facts and the proof that we know is present and we know is out there. We will continue to uplift the demands of Breonna Taylor's family, that the officers who sentence. We will not stop until those things have happened. Too often, we've seen justice stop at maybe a firing, maybe an administrative leave, maybe an arrest, but we want this to go all the way, because Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, these people are our siblings, and we care about them, and their killings are not acceptable, and our community is here to say so. We invite everyone to express our gratitude and solidarity with the journalists, and we invite the journalists to come and give us a little bit of their story. And I'll lead you in our first chant that we're going to be saying when we walk down the street, and that is, heads up, phones out. Heads up! Phones out! Heads up! Phones out! Heads up! Phones out! All right, thank you very much for showing up today.
All right, so maybe 2 minutes for any journalists that want to share their experiences recording and broadcasting this moment. We just want to know if you want to share anything about your experience of being out here and recording, why you're doing it, whatever you'd like to share.
Hey, my name is John Zame. I've been doing independent media since maybe 15 years ago. It's my first time in Palestine. Documenting the stories that don't want to be told by the mainstream media. And I think that was my first experience in Palestine. Was the first time that I've seen the propaganda raised against the freedom fighter and the people, the have-nots. So the experience out here, what I like to tell the general public, the city officials, the LMPD, if you feel like that we're not telling those stories and that our stories are swayed, I offer you to give us your body cam footage.
Yes.
Next to ours.
Yes.
And we'll lay down our live stream footage, and you tell me who's the aggressor.
Yes.
I've never had one of them take me up on that offer so far. I've been saying that for the last 3 weeks. Yeah, they're real scared. As many of y'all seen, we've seen a couple of journalists. I think my comrade Jason Downey was just standing on the sidewalk recording the other night, and they just rode up on him. They just slammed him on the ground. He identified himself as a journalist, and they didn't care and arrested him for disorderly conduct. I think on the same night, we seen Gia, which was she standing right next to you or about 20 feet behind them? Same story. She identified herself as a journalist. They didn't care. They arrested her in front of her kids, and actually they charged her with a felony and starting a riot and disorderly conduct. Can y'all guess the difference between these two?
One's black, one's white.
Bingo! You have one jeopardy. So I think as you've seen, I like to think of things on a global perspective. If you've seen the Arab Spring across the world in the Middle East, in Egypt, you've seen that the independent journalists, social media played a big role in the overthrowing of Mubarak. So that's where I grab my inspiration from. We're the eyes for the people that aren't able to come out here for whatever reasons it is. The eyes and the ears of the people. Yes, sir. So who's next? So we got Jay Bird out here. We've been working together since Occupy ICE, sitting on the sidewalk. Remember when Obama used to come out there and mess with us?
Hi, my name is Jay Bird. Probably a lot of y'all don't know my streams because I've actually kept them to my friends list. But what started it all was at Occupy ICE, I learned. As soon as the cops show up, you get the camera out and start filming. And so I was here on the 28th, and I saw cops marching over on Liberty Street. and they were walking all the way around so they could get east on Jefferson, on the other side of the crowd. And I immediately took out my phone after I heard police officers say something that was quite derogatory and inflammatory. Unfortunately, I didn't catch that on film, but I took out my phone and I filmed them so people know they were coming. They made it all the way around Liberty to 5th, up to Jefferson, and the shooting started. Now, I was there. The shooting came from the east. The protesters were on the west. I was still waiting to hear what happened with those 7 bullets taken out of people, those 8 shots. We've never heard anything. And as far as I know, the victims were never even interviewed. So the next night I came out with my camera and my car. I used my car as a weapon. I rescue people. I get them out of situations. I use my phone as a weapon to record and document. And while I don't have a big audience, I have it out there, and if we need it, it's there. So that's what I've been doing for 45 days now, and I'll do it for 45 more. I'll do it for 90 more. I'll do it as long as it takes. So Mayor Fisher, LMPD, Daniel Cameron, FBI, you better get on it, because we're not going to stop. And there are so many out there with their cameras out. Not just me. Record everything. Record everything. I tell my fans on Facebook, you're going to get 2 hours of boring shit. Boring stuff. I apologize if there's kids present. You're going to get 2 hours of boring stuff. But if I get 10 seconds that holds a police officer accountable or proves a protester innocent, that's what I'm going to do. And I'll be out here as long as it takes, and I hope you are too. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other journalists want to speak? Tell us what's going on?
How's everybody doing? My name is Jason Downey. I'm going to try real hard not to say any F-bombs while I'm up here. No guarantees.
I already broke the ice for you.
I kind of came from a random background. I actually took a bicycle ride down here on day 2, just as a way to exercise, right? And I turned a corner, and on that corner was a line of riot police that were tear gassing and pepper spray bulleting protesters that were sitting on their bottoms, holding up signs. I pulled out my social media, and I noticed nobody was talking about it. So I decided that I was going to, right? And I pulled out my phone. I started live streaming. About 2,000 people tuned in at that moment, and for some reason, like, no one ever left. You guys still follow me. I really still can't figure it out, but we're out here, right? I don't want to repeat what Jay Bird and John Domain already said about, you out here fighting. We just want to show the truth. I want to take my couple minutes just to say, just because 2,000 people aren't watching your live stream while you're doing something does not mean it's not important.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you to everybody that's out here marching in the streets every day and doesn't get an interview with WLKY. Thank you for everybody that takes money and donates bottles of water and food and doesn't end up on a podcast over it. You all are far more important than what we're doing. We're just trying to be an echo of what you all are doing out here, make sure more people see what that is. So thank you all. Y'all be good, be safe.
How y'all doing? Revolution will be live streaming. We won't stop. The first thing I want to say, y'all, there is an unsung hero on this park who really started this live stream revolution 44 days ago. And a lot of us are the reason why we came down here to 6th and Jefferson when we saw his live stream. And that's C-Taz. So y'all give it up for C-Taz. Y'all give it up for C-Taz. Because a lot of us saw his stream and we immediately showed up to the revolution. So I'm going to give props for props to do, okay? We got to give our flowers, all right? My name is Antonio Taylor. I'm a Wave FM Online. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a small black business owner. And I am black media. I am black media. So my message to the LMPD is what I've always said. You keep your camera on, and I'll keep my camera on. And we will get to the truth. Because that's what we all are here for, is the truth. We will no longer allow you to, and our phones will not allow us, and your cameras will not allow you to tell your own narrative. We will get the real story. And we are here, and we are watching you. All eyes are on you from now on. The revolution will be streamed. I want everybody right now to do one thing for me. I want you to hold your phones in the air. Take your cell phones out and hold them in the air. Everybody take them out. Hold them in the air. And on the count of 3, I want everybody to say, we are watching you. 1, 2, 3. We are watching you. Thank you.
Any other journalists want some time to say why they've been out here?
Come on, Eddie.
Come on, Eddie.
Come on, Eddie.
Eddie.
Go with the fish. Go with the fish.
I'm Eddie Davis. I'm a freelancer with the Louisville Defender. I have been arrested. I have been arrested with Carla Wallace.
Louder. Get on the mic, Eddie. Hold the mic up.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm Eddie Davis. I'm a freelancer. I'm under contract with the Louisville Defender. I'm currently shooting for the Louisville Defender. I have been arrested by the LMPD in a demonstration while working as a journalist in front of the police department. And I have the distinction of being arrested and being put in the same paddy wagon with Carla Wallace, Buster Coleman, Maddie Jones, other distinguished social justice activists. I'm proud of it, but LMPD does not, they haven't read the Constitution. That's their problem. They have not read the Constitution, nor do they follow the Constitution. We have our Constitution rights, and we must implement them any means necessary. Metro government does not belong to LMPD. It belongs to the people. The Metro government belongs to the people. That is the people's house. If we have to take it over, take it over. We can make bad decisions for ourselves. We don't need educated idiots leading us down the river. No. Look, we know what the game is with gentrification. That's been exposed. You know, so it's up to journalists. You know, one of my idols, Amy Goodman, Democracy Now! We need more democracy now. We need a local democracy now. So, I mean, to my fellow journalists, it's up to us to tell the truth. Corporate America is not going to give us the full picture. You know, we're going to have to step up to the plate and say, hey, here it is, this is the truth, like it or not, and we're going to have to deal with it. Democracy runs off of freedom of speech. Why would the police department want to suppress the freedom of speech unless they got something to hide? Unless Metro government has got something to hide. I think we ought to declare Metro government a crime scene. Wrap some yellow tape around it and let's call it a crime scene. Let's call it what it is. Metro government is a crime scene. And we need to expose them for who they are and what they are about. That's right. So, democracy is driven by freedom of speech and journalism. They can't stop us. This is our time, and this is our moment, and this is our revolution. And nothing is going to stop it. Metro government belongs to us. They work for us. We are no longer going to be slaves to the bourgeois. Time for them to go. This is our city.
Our city.
Keep up the work, my brothers and sisters. All power to the people.
Thank you. Lightsaber?
All right. My name is Kenyatta Bosman. I am a 21st century photographer. I'm a journalist for Port Kentucky. My purpose here is to not only get justice, but to expose what is really going on during the protests to the LGBTQ community. Those that are not BIPOC. Yes. So yeah, that's what I'm here for. I'm here with Port Kentucky with all my lives. We're gonna keep doing it until we get justice.
Thank you very much. All right, well, I think we're gonna get moving. So let's see. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? There we go. All right, so let's get our folks who are going to be taking up the backside, getting ready. For everybody that's comfortable, we're going to move one block that way. Okay, we're going to take our message a little bit closer to LMPD, and we're going to take the corners down there, but we are going to take the streets as we go. Okay, so we're going to do a couple chants, and then we're going to get our phones. Everybody with a phone, we want to move up front and create a little bit of kind of a wall. Anybody who wants to follow, wants to move around, get our green vest in the back. While we get situated, I'm going to call out a couple chants, and we're going to chant while we move down there and take the corners, okay? Heads up! 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 Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
downtown. Today you heard stories from independent media. You heard how LMPD is intentionally trying to harass and target and arrest members of the independent media to keep the truth from being told. You heard that. You showed up. You marched in the streets. You chanted. You yelled, all to show some solidarity and support with those independent media people. And now, now you get to hear me. Why me? I mean, I look around at you and I can see it in your eyes. Even if you're wearing a mask, I can see it in your eyes. You're looking at me and saying, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, all right.
Look at him. I mean, look at him. He's just a goofy looking, middle class, 59.9-year-old, boring white guy. What does he have to say about any of this? Well, you're actually bright. That's pretty much who and what I am. By my nature, I am not a radical person. By my nature, I don't like conflict and controversy. I try to avoid it whenever I can. Protesting and chanting and marching down the street, that does not come easily or naturally to me. But I've got to tell you, when I sit at home or if I'm down here and I see the live stream, when I see the videos from independent media people recording and showing what's really happening down here at the square and all these different places where the protests are taking place, when I see the abuses of power that are taking place, when I see the violence that's happening, and I go to bed that night and I wake up the next morning and I hear the official reports, the official statements that LMPD is putting out, saying what supposedly happened, when I saw it with my own eyes. I saw it with my own eyes, and it's nothing like they're saying. It's nothing like they're saying. When I see that, even though it's not, it's against my own nature, I have to come out. I have to show up and show support and solidarity. I have to speak out.
Thank you.
To me, showing up for racial justice, or showing up, standing up for any kind of social justice, standing up for honesty and transparency, that's an important way that I express my own religious faith. But you don't have to be a religious leader. You don't have to be a person of faith. All you have to be is a decent human being to see that this situation is not right. It just isn't right. You know it isn't right. So what do? I'm looking around this crowd and I see we are here most of us are white folks here today. So white folks, what do? Just show up. That's right. The first thing you can do even before that, keep watching those live streams. Keep watching the videos. See what's really happening and don't just buy the official line. See what's really happening, and when you do, when you see that abuse, when you see that violence, don't get numb to it when you see it day after day, night after night. Let it stay raw in you. Know what's really happening. And the other thing you do, you heard it here already, just show up. You put your body in the streets. You call it out. You show solidarity. Show solidarity for these independent media people, and show solidarity and support for the families of Breonna Taylor and David McAtee and George Floyd and so many, many, many others. Let your body show solidarity. And if for some reason, whatever reason it might be, you can't be here in the streets, you can't show up in person, still contact LMPD, contact the mayor, contact the Metro Council and let them know that we are watching them. Let them know that we are calling on them to dismantle the systemic racism that is embedded in our police department. Let them know that we are calling on them to get rid of this inherent, embedded systemic evil that's in the very police structure itself, that goes far beyond any discussion, any kind of argument you want to have about whether any individual is a good person or a bad person. It's much, much more than that. Do that. Let them know that we are watching. Let them know that we are watching. We're going to keep watching. We're going to keep live streaming and recording and holding them accountable. Now you know there's only one reason why LMPD is trying to shut down the independent media. You know there's only one reason they're going after the people with the camera. They do not want you to see the truth about what they're doing. They do not want you to know the truth. And when I think about that, as a religious leader, as a person of faith, as just a decent human being, when I think that the police department are trying to shut down transparency and honesty, all I can ask, all I want to ask of LMPD is, if you're doing the right thing, then what are you afraid of? That's right. If you're doing the right thing, then what are you afraid of? Preach! Preach! LMPD!
We're set to free.
If you're doing the right thing, then what in God's name are you afraid of? Thank you. Heads up, phones out.
You even got the heathen to say amen.
All right, everybody, we want to close out this action by speaking directly in what way we can to LMPD. So, anybody who feels safe taking the street, you can come out here, you can direct your frustration right here. Anybody who doesn't, feel free to grab some sidewalk. We're going to do a couple chants, and thank you so much for those that are live streaming. Thanks so much for those that are watching at home, okay? So, hands up, hands out. Hands up! Hands out! Hands up! Hands out! Hands up! Hands out! Hands up! Hands out! Hands up! 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 LMPD, tell the truth! Let's see here. Let's call for George Floyd. Say his name! 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 No justice! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No racist! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! enact the signs right here. If any of you are not already connected with Louisville Showing Up for Racial Justice, and you would like to get involved, you'd like to know about other events, look them up on Facebook.
All right, folks, back at Injustice Square. This is the Hands Up, Phones Out rally. This is in support of local independent media that's been targeted by police recently. So make sure you support local independent media the best that you can. I'm gonna wrap this up, so like, follow, share this out. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate y'all. Until next time, peace.